Hello guys, I've just watched Carnism Debunked George's street debate with a Christian. In general, I am interested in all his conversations with believers, as well as all the clashes between vegan activists and Christians and Muslims. As for an atheist, I think George performs quite well in these discussions. However, the question remains whether it is not the case that these clashes appeal primarily to vegan viewers, while no trace of this conversation will remain in the minds of the believers who discuss it. Of course, we don't know this for sure. But already in today's conversation, the Christian invoked the moral authority of the alleged God, suggesting to George that everything he says is basically meaningless, and it will always be like that. An openly declared atheist will never be a moral authority for believers, and most people on earth are believers. This will never change, because the need for meaning of life and hope resulting from repeating loss of loved ones is and will always be one of the absolutely strongest, most natural human needs. You will sooner teach people to give up procreation than to give up faith. For this reason, I have been promoting for years the idea that vegan activists should become a little more interested in religious doctrines and start speaking the language of believers to believers. I get the impression that for some vegans, it would tarnish one's halo if they said the word God without malice. Meanwhile, even on one of the atheist channels, I came across a way of thinking that the best way to atheize society is not only to fight, but only to atheize religious traditions and customs, something we have already observed in the case of Christmas, for example. Christianity, by the way, was also spread in the same way, giving new Christian meaning to pagan holidays. Therefore, I propose a completely new set of vegan arguments to be used towards believers, in which we will sound more like insiders, which means people whose voice counts. For me, sounding like an insider is natural because I am a real ex-Christian and even ex-nun, although from the first stages of monastic formation. And in fact, many of my viewers abandoned the Catholic Church for veganism, but they never abandoned faith in God. And they are very committed, passionate animal defenders. Should we expect more? I believe that as vegans we should focus solely on criticizing religious ethics, not the faith in God itself. To begin with, I propose that instead of ridiculing religion as a whole, we should focus the debate on the God's moral obligations towards his creatures. Christians like to divide creatures into children of God and creatures that are not his children. And this is hilarious. I suggest you focus on this topic. Because what is parenthood? Isn't the act of creation the ultimate parenthood? If we establish that God is the father of all creatures, we can begin to analyze God's moral duties towards chickens, pigs, cows, and so on. Is it his duty to protect his children from evil predators like humans? Or did he have the right to give his own children as a food to another group of his children? Or maybe he is a bad father who doesn't care about his children. Because if so, then why do Christians and Muslims put so much trust in such a treacherous, evil father? If he treated so many of his children so badly, then where did a Muslim or a Christian get the idea that they would be treated any better? When you start a discussion this way, the believer will try to defend God's honor and prove that he is good. And now, just let him exercise his ability to prove what God's fatherly care and goodness towards chicken, pigs, and other animals is. And let him prove how he helps God in fulfilling his parental care towards farm animals. This is one of my suggestions. What do you think about it? Thank you very much for your attention. Please subscribe and see you next time.